Hey guys, and welcome back to the channel. Today I'll be reviewing the Cats up against Port Adelaide at Adelaide Oval. It was Port Adelaide getting the job done by 38 points big win for them, and they go to 11 in a row, and the Cats go to 6 and 7. So it's getting pretty desperate at the moment, and the season's on a knife's edge if it wasn't already. And it was always going to be a massive challenge coming to play and defeat Port. I don't think, many teams would be able to get sort of close to Port at home at the moment with their current form. And we're sort of still roundabouts, not really sure where we're at. Just struggling to sort of hang on to even try and make the 8. We're not even in the 8 at the moment. And Richmond will be jumping us in no time. So it's pretty crazy how the season sort of has swings and roundabouts with it. But yeah, it was a tough night to watch. I mean, it was a good start to the game. We were playing really well early on, and we were thinking, how good's this? Always acknowledging that Port Adelaide were going to come back and have their momentum as we sort of had our momentum in that first term. And yeah, well, I mean, we can talk about the positives a little bit, but largely, it'll be about what sort of went wrong as we can see the result go away from us as the game sort of, continued. But yeah, in the first term, I mean, it came down as simple as just winning the ball, winning contests, winning the ball. We're able to, isolate our forwards. Hawkins on Aaliyah was really good. He played on Jones the week before and did a really good sacrificial role on him. Playing Hawkins a little bit differently there, trying to sort of take away that intercepting ability from, those dangerous defenders, and Aaliyah probably didn't have the game they would normally have with the time sort of put into by Hawkins. But early on, despite some fumbles here and there, we were actually reasonably good, and kicking 6 in the opener was real positive for us. Winning, that post clearance contested ball, the ease in which we sort of waltzed through at times and kicked some goals. We just had Port out of sorts early on, and our pressure was really good. And Port definitely, when I was watching, I'm like, this is a bit too easy. This is definitely not the Port that we know and have come to expect. Full well acknowledging the pressure was going to lift, and it definitely did. After quarter time, as we can see, Port kicked 16 goals, 14 goals after quarter time. We kicked 5, so. Yeah, it was tough after quarter time, just watching on, seeing that, the game was slipping away. Nothing really to stop it. And unfortunately, I mean, even last year when we were flying, probably winning, 9 or 10 in a row, playing Port Adelaide, who were not even a top 8 side last year, they were struggling big time after their poor start to the season. And we got out to a 6-7 goal lead, so... and even then, I'm pretty sure they kicked 8 in the third term, and very similar third term to the corresponding game sort of last year. And we just weren't able to contain them. They looked threatening. They had a fair bit of their play in their front half. Probably didn't get bang for buck, and we held firm nicely. But they just the damn wall broke down, and they got back into the contest. A couple of late goals in that quarter was critical in sort of getting their confidence up. Port started winning contests, and winning the ball out of the stoppage was just, where it killed us, and it's killed us all year, and something that hasn't been amended, and I don't know if it is amendable or retrievable. Maybe with Stanley back, Blitzars might be able to play full-time mid and not be rucking. He's second, third ruck for us, probably not first ruck, but we'll just destroy it out of the middle. Like, it's okay if you lose the clearance, but just don't let them run out 12 o'clock, front door. Like, that's just, no defence can compete with that when the supply that Port Adelaide got. And Jeremy Finlayson, I love Jeremy Finlayson, funnily enough, but he's looking like Wayne Carey at the moment with the supply that he got. And he took a few of his chances there. I think he had 6 shots on goal. He kicked 4 straight, but it was just far too easy. The disappointing thing, and we've conceded 100 points many times this year. I think at least 5 times we conceded 100 points, only once in 2022. So our defence in 2022 is definitely where it was at. not conceding these crazy amounts of marks inside 50 was definitely a big part of what we were about. And it's just far too easy. I mean, part of that is the midfield, and probably a fair chunk of that is the midfield, but the defence just looks out of sorts as well. And again, there hasn't been a lot of continuity with the team, and just a lot of players that aren't quite at their best. And that's showing up. And then you're up against a team at their home deck who have won 10 in a row. Port Adelaide playing the best footy of their lives. Like, they've never ever won more than 8 in a row until this year. So Port Adelaide, whether they win the flag this year or not is another thing. They're right there with the Pies at the moment, Melbourne as well, is that, yeah, they've never won that many in a row. So they are in white hot form and, yeah, looking really good. Whether they've peaked too early, who knows? I mean, they've put themselves in a really good position. That's what we do know, and they've won another game of football. And Geelong, I'm struggling to see the hunger is still there. I think they're still trying really hard, but, yeah, it just was too easy with the ball movement in the second half. They just kept intercepting our possession chain in that second half, and that was off the back of their pressure. Their pressure lifted big time, and when they did get their game going, we weren't able to match it with them, which was probably the most disappointing thing. We didn't really have a response. We chipped back a little bit. We got it back to 2 goals after it was 5 goals, so a little bit of a fight back, but it was short-lived. And then, yeah, Port Adelaide just overwhelmed us again with that clearance dominance, which will be quite stark and show through, no doubt. But, yeah, disappointing sort of night, that's for sure. And, I mean, when I really look at it, I probably expected a scoreline similar to this. You just hate losing in the way in which we did. And, yeah, some of their goals just far too easy. But that's been a bit of a theme across the year. Even with the games we've been, pretty solid in, or some good wins, have just been off the back of, good moments of footy. We haven't really strung 4 quarters together much at all. Probably that Sydney game, we've strung 4 quarters together, won by 90-something points. Even the Hawthorn game where we won by 82 points, we struggled for a half and then went berserk in the second half, which was, was a good response. But outside of that Sydney game, every other game's just been bursts of effort, and it's just been really clunky and hasn't been very cohesive. So, yeah, Scotty and the crew have a fair bit of work to do, and I see it being a massive struggle just making the 8 at the moment. The comp's getting much better, and yeah, we're not getting any better. We're getting worse as sort of time goes on, really. But yeah, it's hard to give up hope until it's mathematically impossible, because I know this team's capable of pretty magnificent things, and even still, we gave ourselves a very slight hope of coming back late in the game. Not to be, though. But yeah, we'll move into the numbers. I won't go too into depth on the player stats, so we'll go through the votes. But I'm not gonna go through every single player. I'll probably do that from here on in, just to keep the reviews a bit more short and sharper, and try and focus more on the game style, what we did right and wrong. I don't really buy into too much on players, and what the clearly individual brilliance can be great, but I care more about the system and the way we play as opposed to who's actually doing it. But anyway, we'll go into that soon. Port got more of the footy. We definitely made them earn that. That was one thing we kind of did. Inside 50s, yeah, and that was the thing where we just couldn't force it forward enough in that second half. Basically after quarter time was a real struggle. But yeah, Port Adelaide nearly 60 inside 50s, just far too much supply. And yeah, their ball use was good. Ours, we turned it over a fair bit. That's off the back of their pressure, and our probably lack of pressure as the game panned out and wore on. The efficiency inside 50, though, yeah, felt like every time they went inside 50 was an open forward line and players just kicking goals from everywhere. We were efficient early, but then didn't get as many good looks as the game wore on, as they put more pressure on the ball carrier for us. Hitouts were dominated there as expected. The clearance differential was, pretty poor, but also not totally unexpected, but plus 16 is crazy. And their centre clearances were deadly, like they were out the front of the stoppage. It's just, where's the sweeper, cats? Come on. Oh, clean it up, seriously. around the ground. They just kept winning the ball, the ground ball, definitely. Again, after quarter time, we were pretty solid early, but couldn't maintain the rage for the full match and haven't really been able to throughout the year. Contested ball, Port won by +8 there, so we had a crack, but ultimately they were too good there. Marks, unusually, we won the battle there, but almost by Port not having a lot of marks, they when they use the ball, they hit a target 40, 60 metre kicks. They make you pay. We chipped it around a little bit, mainly because of the pressure from Port. The marks inside 50, and this is a big problem. We've never seen these sorts of numbers scored against the Cats in terms of just marks inside 50, and we weren't able to do much in that department either. And yeah, we're just leaking marks inside 50. Again, that's off the back of lack of pressure and then just lack of system and players not manning up and, as tightly as they previously have. They won the aerial battle there, +10. Contested marks, +7. -3 for us. Weirdly enough, it's not terrible when you look at the time in front. It's about level, but just when Port got their momentum and got on top, we just had no answers. And sometimes, it's okay if an opposition gets on top, but just don't concede 7 goals out the front of stoppage. I don't know what 7 goals in a quarter, and it felt like a lot of those out of stoppage. They had 4 goals from stoppage from clearances. We had 1 goal from stoppage there, so clearly that's quite significant and not quite up to speed there. Again, I hate these numbers. I hate it when the opposition has more of the ball and they tackle more, because it means they're working a lot harder than we were. And tackles inside 50 tends to be low for us. They usually just walk it out. No one was. I think Houston must smell really bad because he just got the ball over and over again. So anyway, Port's pressure was really good. We saw Cameron get caught. That's what you deserve, I suppose. The votes, probably the toughest votes ever, really, because we played one good quarter and hung in there in the second. But yeah, so this will be pretty disjointed, and it has to be said. I'll go with Gary Rowan for the 3 votes. He kicked 3 goals, all in the first term. Not side of the stack after quarter time. Not many players were. But yeah, he was brilliant in that first term and gave us that 20-point lead. 12 disposals, 4 marks as well. He did a bit of ruck work. Also got a clearance as well in that back pocket. Yeah, I just thought he was outstanding. Especially early on, and I don't think there was many players that had outstanding moments, and he did. So he gets a 3 for mine, but definitely, interesting pick, that's for sure. The 2 votes, I'll go Holmes. He had the 24. Took a mark there, 7 tackles, 7 clearances. I thought, he, especially early, he was dominant and maintained some good work there, but didn't quite pan out for the whole game, unfortunately. The 1 vote, I'll go Izzy Smith. He kicked a crucial goal to help us out. Got the 20 touches, took the 9 marks. I felt he was able to get on the end of a fair bit of ball there. That goal was obviously handy. His chains are usually good for us. I won't go through the rest, but I might even just touch on some specific players, but I don't want to go through every single player. I think it's actually not highly beneficial, but unless you reckon it is beneficial, I think you guys probably prefer it short and sharp, to be honest. But I thought, Guthrie, not quite his best. He definitely got a lot of it in the second half. Gained a fair bit of meterage, booted the ball a bit. I thought O'Connor was good in his 100th game. Duncan was solid with ball in hand. Stewart was quiet. Dangerfield kicked a goal, 15, and he's going to hospital with rib injury, which it's another injury. I think he's got rib injury. Something's not right with him anyway. Hawkins' role was pretty handy. I thought Myers did well with ball in hand was pretty good. He turned one over, but that was late in the game when it was over. And Jeremy Cameron, I don't know what the go is with him. He didn't get great supply. Hawk obviously only kicked 2 himself, but he's just out of sorts. I don't know what the go is, but I'm sure he'll get to some better form, but can't do a lot with 47 in softies as well. We've got to get him up the ground, seriously. When we're not winning the ball in the midfield, we have to get him up the ground. There's no point in him sitting at full forward, cold, not getting the ball. Like, we have to be better than that. So that's the summary of the game, the statistics, and how the players went. I think I'm pretty happy with that, short and sharp, going through the players in that sort of method. But yeah, hope you guys are too, because I've got a very busy life. The things we do. All right, we got Melbourne next Saturday night, next Thursday night even. Tell it's getting a bit late. This one's at GMHBA, but yeah, I mean, when we beat Melbourne there last year, we were absolutely flying. Probably, 10 or 11 on the trot. Who knows? But and the D's were sort of falling apart in the second half. But they're in really good touch, and we're not even a top 8 side. So, I mean, we are better at GMHBA. We tend to be better against the good sides, but yeah, it's hard to tip us at the moment with our current form. I mean, clearly we'll be better for the run, but yeah, it's just a really tough draw. And when you've already lost a fair few games, you just leave too small of a margin to, basically everything has to be perfect from there on in. So I don't think we'll beat the D's in that sense. Pretty hard to beat at home, but yeah, we're not playing that good of footy at the moment to warrant us being favourites or tipping us. I expect the D's to win with sort of how their system, especially against the Pies, and it might be a bit different down the highway, but their system with not allowing the Pies to sort of run and carry from the back line was significant, and I think if they're going to make it hard for us to move the ball, and we've been pretty terrible in stoppage. Melbourne thrive on that, so unless we can do something miraculous, I think the D's probably get the job done there in what's probably going to be a pretty frustrating game to watch yet again. It is pretty. I mean, thank goodness we won the flag last year, and it would have been a whole lot. This season would have been a million times worse had we not have won it. But yeah, everything's really tough at the moment. Watching on, we're trying, but we're just not that side that we were, and yeah, I think. Every week without Joel Selwood just shows how he's one of the all-time greats. We miss his presence significantly, even though he wasn't the best player in the team. The standards he drove and whatnot, and just keeping everything all above board. Can't put a price on that, and we've felt the loss of it this year. I don't think we're that many wins extra better with him, but he has been sorely missed, even from that leadership perspective and just wanting to win every game. But there you go. So that's it from me, guys. It was Port Adelaide by 38 points. Cats go to 6 and 7, which leaves us in a pretty precarious position on the table. We're sitting 9th at the moment with the Dockers still to play, the Suns still to play, Richmond still to play, Sydney still to play. Not that they will overtake us. Unless they beat Brisbane by 120 points or whatever. But yeah, it's not expecting to beat Port Adelaide over there when they've won 10 in a row. But just expecting a better effort after the quarter time. We just didn't quite match it with them for long enough. And the disappointing bit for me is just when they did get their game going, we just buckled over and we weren't able to really get close to them. We did get a couple of goals behind, or at least got it back to a couple of goals. Gave ourselves a slight chance to win, but then I felt like we had another half a quarter of momentum, and we just weren't able to. But there you go, Port Adelaide by 38, sitting pretty in the top 2, and honestly, them and Collingwood looking like the grand finalists at the moment. Still a long way to go. A lot can happen. Injuries can happen. Form slumps can happen. We've seen that all before, but yeah. Cats go to 6 and 7. It's going to be a tough year. Lost 7 already. I don't think we've done that since 2015. But anyway, that's it for me, guys. Hope you enjoyed the video, and hopefully the Cats can mount some kind of response against the D's next week. We'll see what happens. If you like the video, click the like button. Subscribe if you haven't already to stay up to date with all Cats news and reviews more so. And I appreciate you guys here tuning in. Thanks again. I will catch you all on the next video.